Oh, Karl, did you get everything I asked for?
Yes, I certainly did.
Good.
And more besides.
What have we got there?
Now, let's see what you think of these.
Gloves? I asked for mitts.
Yes, I know you did, but I thought these would be more stylish.
Oven mitts for handling hot pots.
Oh, you're certainly not using these for that.
Yum, 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 yum.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of One Chef One Critic. I'm Karl Wells, food critic for The Telegram.
And I'm Chef Steve Watson of Central Dairies.
Steve, sorry about the mix-up with the gloves
It's allowed.
earlier, but oven mitts, very important in a kitchen.
Absolutely, Karl. And you can get varying pairs and always keep them close to the oven because namely you're bringing hot products out of there. Some of them are upwards of 400 or 500 degrees, so you've got a smaller pair here. These are nice silicone ones, or a longer pair like this, and if there's anything going to splash, so to speak. So, but we've got oven mitts.
These, you know, if you were working in a nuclear reactor, this is what you would be wearing.
Absolutely. And the other thing, talking about safety, you can buy chainmail gloves like this. So if you're deboning something, or you're taking apart a piece of equipment, like a blender and something like that with a sharp edge, so to speak.
So can you just buy one of those, or do you have to buy a pair? Or?
No, you just buy the one. They're about $35 from Big Eric's.
Big Eric's, okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yep.
Well, that's all good information. Coming up on the show today, we have Francoise Enguehard as our guest. Francoise is originally from Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon, and she's a writer, broadcaster. She's broadcast in French, in English, and she's also a novelist. What are we going to be cooking with her today?
We're going to be going Italian. We're going to be making veal shanks, osso buco.
Osso buco. And we have Chef Percy Meadows with us. He's from Bally Haly Golf and Country Club. He's going to do lobster croquettes. Stay tuned. For a complete listing of One Chef One Critic recipes, wine lists, and more, check out our website. Let us know what you think of the show at 757-9600. And I'm delighted to say that we have been joined by Francoise Enguehard. Welcome, Francoise.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Lovely to be here.
Now, we have a very special treat for you today.
We do indeed, Francois. What we're going to be making today is osso buco. So I'll just remove the lid from the pot there, and I've got some beautiful veal shanks here, as you can see.
Oh,
large ones, about 3 inches thick, of course. So,
what does osso buco mean? It's the leg bone, right?
It's the log bone, well, it's from the shank, right?
Right,
And
okay.
it's from the region in Italy, of course.
Yeah.
So let's season with some salt and pepper. And we're going to be braising, hence the osso buco.
Oh, okay, so that means cooked on a low heat, slowly.
For an extended period of time.
An extended period of time.
So we'll put some olive oil.
So that means we've got one in the oven ready to go.
We do indeed, absolutely.
The wonders of television.
Yes, I look forward to the great reveal.
Yeah, we're not going to be here for 4 hours, Karl.
Yeah. So Francoise, you are from Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon, and what was it like growing up there?
It was, I suppose, pretty similar in some ways to growing up here. You know, rather isolated, in Saint-Pierre, quite isolated, but a great family life. And, you know, lots of activities very much like here, skating at the skating rink and, you know.
Perfect, yeah. Karl, I forgot to ask you, if you could make some
Yes, you have to do something
arborio
too.
rice now, if you make a nice saffron rice. I've got a cloth here. You got a cloth there?
I have a
Okay,
cloth.
perfect.
Yes, I have a cloth.
Good.
So is dining in Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon as an important part of the day as we're led to believe?
Yes, no, it's very important. Eating and traditionally in Saint-Pierre and in France for that matter, people have a big lunch and then they have a light dinner.
Yes.
Dinner is usually a soup and a yogurt or fruit or leftovers in some cases. But no, people, it's very important, and in my family it was. My mother was a wonderful baker and my father was a great cook. He was a self-taught chef, but he really, you know, loved cooking. So.
And how old were you when you started to learn how to cook?
I learned how to cook, believe it or not, here when I got married. I got
Oh.
married. Well, because in my family, my father cooked, my mother baked, and we had a lady who lived with us and worked for us, and she would do the cooking every day. So I wasn't expected.
You were a regular little princess, weren't you?
Well, yes, so more or less, okay? Let's not overdo
Yeah.
this. And so when I came here and started living here with friends from university and so on, I had to start cooking. But
Did they automatically assume you could cook because you came
Yes,
from
they
St.
did.
Pierre Miquelon? Okay, yeah.
yeah, and then my husband to be, who was a cook and trained as a cook, taught me the rest.
Ah,
See, but
That
I
was
had
handy,
great
yeah.
disposition. Okay, I was.
And
Am I
your-
doing it okay?
Perfect, yeah, absolutely.
your
See,
husband,
I've done that before.
René,
No.
he's
Look
from
at the mess.
Saint Pierre as well, right?
He always
Yes.
makes a mess.
He does.
Always makes a mess.
Yeah, my husband says, "Oops."
Now, in Saint Pierre, you say that lunch is the main meal of the day.
Yeah.
And everything closes? at
Everything
lunchtime?
closes. Yes, yes.
And an hour lunch, 2 hour lunch?
An hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
So it is a bit of a challenge nowadays, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
where the two, the husband and wife or the couple works.
Works, yeah.
So there are some shortcuts, and
Yeah,
there are,
yeah.
you know, some businesses in Saint Pierre you can go like at 11:45 and get things that are already prepared.
Oh, I
but
see.
people still cook a fair bit. You know?
And what's the population in Saint Pierre?
Saint Pierre and Miquelon together, I'd say about 6,000. I don't know, I haven't
6,000,
checked, but something like that. Yeah.
And do you go home very often?
Yes, I do. I do. My father is still alive. And so he requires regular attention. And I have a brother in Toronto, and so we take turns. So every
Okay.
5 or 6 weeks I go down.
And do you fly there or do you drive?
I fly.
Fly. Okay.
Yeah,
How
I
long is
fly
the
on Air Saint Pierre.
Air Saint Pierre?
Yeah, comes here 3 times a week, and so it takes about 40 minutes. So
Oh,
it's
very
really
good.
quick,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So
'Cause
you could go on a
driving-
Friday night coming back on Sunday then?
Yes,
Yeah.
because I remember driving down and taking the boats and the unsure weather, and,
Weather,
you know,
yeah.
and getting seasick.
Yeah.
So
it
it's-
wouldn't only be the crossing, it would be the drive down
The
Buren
drive
Peninsula,
4 hours down the Buren
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
across, so it's much nicer that way. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done quite well there. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be deglazing that pan with the meat in there. We're going to be deglazing that with a little bit of masala
Yeah.
and a little bit of yellowberry fighting Irish red ale as well. So
Oh,
our local brewery.
that's your take on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you
Well,
It's nice. Well, it's nice to add your own touch to it.
Touch to it,
That's what
exactly.
cooking is all about. I'm just trying to get all the sides
Sides
here
done, yeah.
to be nicely done. But if you need to,
I think we're just about there.
Okay.
Well, we can probably put some of the veg. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just deglaze a little bit.
yep.
There, with a little bit of the masala, so it may splash a little bit with the fat. Oh, not too bad. We're okay there. And how's our rice, Karl? Good.
They're coming. I noticed we don't have any white wine for the.
The white wine is already mixed with the chicken stock.
Oh,
Because
you
otherwise you would be
sneaky-
sampling.
You sneaky little devil. Okay, I was
course,
wondering because when I make risotto, it has white wine.
It's already got its in the chicken
Okay.
stock.
Yeah,
Karl.
you always start with the white wine, it seems
Yes,
to me.
that's
But he was afraid you were going to drink
Yes,
it, was
well,
I'm not afraid, I just knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Right. Always
So then
taking
we'll just pop our
precautions as
vegetables
our
in there.
Steve.
There we go.
Francoise, you're a woman of many talents. You're a novelist. Your latest book is called The Islands of Dr. Thomas.
Yes.
And I note that one of the protagonists in the novel is a young man from Saint-Pierre-Miquelon, and he's living in France, but it's almost as though he feels a bit of a foreigner in France.
Yes.
Did you feel that way when you lived in France for a while or spent time in France?
It's funny, yes, you feel, apart from the language, I always felt more at home here than I did in France.
Yeah.
And I have relatives in France and so on, but there is something that in North America is, you know, special and makes us different. And so, yes, here I've always felt at home. There isn't much of a difference with Saint-Pierre-Miquelon, apart from the culture, I suppose.
Sure, yeah. Certainly
But
the same
yes,
weather.
yes, but it's easy, yes. And in that sense, the people of Saint-Pierre-and-Miquelon are like Newfoundlanders. We may go away, but we always know we are away, so to speak.
Right, yes.
You know?
Yeah,
And when we
yeah.
speak of home, we speak of Saint-Pierre,
Yeah.
and people refer to Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon as the rock as well. Small rock.
The small rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Now, there's another thing I got from the novel is
Just
that
have the tires in there if you want to scrape them in.
is that young people, once they finish high school, they have a big decision to make, and that decision is, do I stay in Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon
Or
and
do
make
I-
a life for myself here, or do I go away?
Yep.
What was that process like for you personally?
Well, for me, the decision would have been to either go to France to study or come to Canada. I finished high school earlier than most people. I was 16. So for me, the idea of moving to France at 16 was daunting. And so I decided to come to Canada, But there was not much choice in the matter. It was expected of me to continue my studies, so I had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'll just put the lid on there
Okay.
now, and we'll braise that for about 2 to 3 hours at a very, very
Okay,
low.
everything seems to be under
nice.
control here. I'm just going to pop down to the wine cellar. And
I'll keep on turning that
pick out
because the
a wine,
risotto
yeah,
has
there-
to be turned.
That has to be
carry on.
It has to be. You have to stand by the oven forever and a day.
So while that's going there, Francois, I'll
Yes.
just ask you
Okay,
to
here you
just
go.
come to the back, and I will bring out the one that we've already prepared very quickly. And we'll just get the aroma from that osso buco. Delicious. Perfect.
Hello, Martin.
Hi, Karl. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Excellent.
Well, we have osso buco today. And they are so big. They're like that thick.
Good meal.
Beautiful Italian dish. Yeah. What kind of wine would you suggest with the osso buco?
Well, I have selected 3 that would go very well with that particular dish. The first one is a Spanish wine from Terra Alta, which is actually an area of Spain that was painted a lot by Picasso. It's Garnacha, Morenillo, Syrah. Beautiful, beautiful wine. Excellent with this dish.
And how much one would that? how
That
much-
one would be about $24.
Okay. Yeah.
The next wine is, we have an Italian dish, so we have an Italian wine.
Oh, yes, you had to have an Italian wine.
Absolutely. So this is a great wine from the island of Sardinia
Yes.
in Italy, and it's a Cannonau, which is basically a Garnacha that was brought over from Spain in the 15th century. Beautiful wine, lots of spice and acidity that goes great with the dish.
So, what would you compare that with, say, a Shiraz?
No, it's a little bit lighter than a Shiraz would be. So it's more in the range of a Spanish Garnacha or a French Grenache from the Southern Rhone.
Yeah. Okay.
And the
Did you
third-
say how much that was?
$23.
Okay. And the final one is?
The final one is $15, and it's a wine from Argentina called Nusca. And Nusca is a Mayan word for Terra Nova, so for Newfoundland,
Okay.
actually, which is a nice little tidbit.
Yeah.
It's a Malbec from Susana Balbo, which is an excellent producer in Argentina, one of our favorite ones. So would be a great choice with the dish as well.
Argentinian wines seem to be becoming very popular these days.
They are, yeah. And this is a particularly good example of an excellent priced and very well crafted wine.
Yeah, I haven't had that one before. That's an interesting label
we
as
sold
well.
out of this at the last wine show.
Oh, really?
So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. it's an
Okay.
excellent
Well,
wine.
you know what? Because it's an Italian dish, I'm going to go with the Italian one.
Absolutely,
So I'm
good
gonna pick
choice.
This one,
Yeah, you
the
will enjoy
Mancini. Thanks very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you very much.
Now we've nicely reduced the sauce for our veal osso buco, and I'll just put a little bit more on top of each of the shanks. There we go. And let's go and visit Karl and Francoise at the dining room table.
A little bit of the red here, Francoise,
Thank
for
you
you.
very
I'm sure this will
much.
go very nicely with our veal osso buco.
It's certainly a generous portion.
Just have a taste and tell everybody how wonderful this is, because I know it's going to be wonderful.
It's very tender.
Well, you know, it falls off when it's braised like this for a long time. It really falls off the bone.
Very nice.
That is very, very, very good.
Lovely.
Francoise, just to get back to your writing for a little bit, I suppose you could describe your novels as historical novels, and they've been, I guess, thus far about Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon. What's your goal in writing that particular style of novel?
Well, I was always interested in historical novel because I think history, when told like that, is a way for people to learn things, but it is also a way to project ourselves in the future. I'm one who is convinced that you only know where you go if you know where you come from. And so for me it's always been important. One of my youth novels was based on the Port-au-Port Peninsula. But it's true the other three were based in Saint-Pierre, and so I had stories to tell, and I like telling them around people who have existed. To me it's a precious thing, to give them life again.
You just mentioned the Port-au-Port Peninsula. What's been traditionally the relationship between the Saint-Pierre and the people on the Port-au-Port Peninsula in Newfoundland and the French in Atlantic Canada generally? What's that relationship been like?
We share an Acadian ancestry, but the islands of Saint-Pierre, you know, when you look at the Port-au-Port Peninsula, it's very far away. So the relationship was not something that was maintained. Saint-Pierre is 8 nautical miles from the south coast of, from Fortune, and Lawn and Marystown and St. Lawrence were very close. The Port-au-Port Peninsula is very, very far. So they did not maintain a connection, except the Cormiers on the Port-au-Port Peninsula are relatives of the Cormiers in Saint-Pierre and relatives of the Acadian Cormiers all over Acadie. So there's a very strong historical link. Yeah.
And I guess there's probably a significant difference in the way in which they speak French?
Yes, but it's something that English people always comment on, but we could say the same thing about you if you were to go to the southern shore, or if you were to go to, let's say, Port-au-Basque or the Great Northern Peninsula. So no more than that.
Yeah. Now you're in the process of writing another novel.
Yes.
What can you tell us anything about that?
Well, very little, because I don't like to, I could give up or something could happen. But this one is based in Newfoundland, I'll say that much.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And that's a first for you. Except for the Port-au-Port.
Well, except for the Port-au-Port. But the first is I'm writing it in English.
Okay. Normally you write in French and then
get it translated, and I'm very
English.
happy with my translator, but this one is based in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
It's a story that was given to me. It's an historical novel again. So I said, I'll try this. Write it in English first, then in French.
Well, I'll be looking forward to reading that one. And in the meantime, the Islands of Dr. Thomas is available now through, I guess it's at fine bookstores everywhere.
Yes.
Let's say that. By Francoise Enguehard. Thank you so much for being with us today,
Well,
Francoise.
thank you very much for
It's
having
been
me.
absolutely delightful.
Cheers.
And when we return, we'll be with Chef Percy Meadows of Bally Haly, and he's going to be cooking lobster croquettes. Stay tuned.
You've seen the show, and now there's a book. Cooking with One Chef One Critic by Karl Wells with Steve Watson features 120 recipes, more than 200 photos, and plenty of behind-the-scenes stories from this long-running series. Cooking with One Chef One Critic is available now.
Bally Haly Golf and Country Club is busy 12 months of the year. What with the golf and the curling, pretty much guarantees that the club's restaurant is pumping out food 12 months of the year for all of those hungry, starving members, and of course members of the general public who like to dine at the restaurant at Bally Haly. The executive chef at the club is with us now. He is Percy Meadows, and welcome to One Chef One Critic.
Thank you very much.
Perfect, Percy. What are you going to be making for us today? I see some lobster.
Today we're making lobster risotto croquettes.
Oh, beautiful. Can you tell us some of the ingredients?
The two main ingredients that will be that we use is the risotto, which is an arboreal rice, and our lobster.
Okay, perfect. What did you put into the risotto? Did you put any special ingredients at all itself?
Yeah, in the risotto we start off with a extra virgin olive oil and a little bit of butter, and then we saute our leeks, our onions, which are in there mixed together, our red peppers, and a little bit of garlic. Until it's nice and clear. Then we'll start adding the risotto. We'll brown the risotto a little bit in the pan, and then we'll start adding our white wine.
Okay.
And we'll let the rice absorb that, and then we'll start adding the lobster stock slowly. until the rice is al dente.
Al
They call it
dente.
just a little bit undercooked.
Perfect.
So everything ends up like this?
Yeah, at that point,
So all of this is in
in
here?
there.
it's all in here, yeah.
Okay, so everything goes into a big mixing bowl, and
Yeah.
the rice is obviously already cooked.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens then? You shape it into
Yeah,
little
then you
balls?
got to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese at the end.
Oh,
And
okay. Yep.
that'll help, that'll add flavor, and that'll help to
Bond it.
bond it
Yeah.
all together.
And then you've made some balls and you put that into panko, right?
Correct.
So what do we do now? Put it into the deep fryer?
Then we just put it into the deep fryer.
Go ahead then.
Stand back!
Stand back, yeah. Bring out the fire extinguisher.
And it's nice that we have an appliance that's totally safe and approved, because this, if you're going to do deep frying at home, folks, this is what you should use, okay?
Absolutely. It's a beautiful small one as well. I think it's only got a couple of litres of oil in there as well, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How long does it take now for that to cook?
I cook it until they're just like golden brown,
Mm-hmm.
and that should take maybe a minute or two.
Right.
You want to be careful if you overdo them, they could pop.
Yeah.
And explode, especially if there's any moisture in that rice, correct?
Right. So,
So when you do-
you just keep an eye on them. And they're almost ready there now.
Yeah.
Just a few
When
more
you do
seconds.
this at the club, would this be an appetizer, or would you do it as a main sometimes?
This is a good ingredient because you can use it in as an appetizer.
Right.
You make them a little bit bigger. You can
Yeah.
use them as a main, or you can use them as a starch on the side of your lobster as well.
I guess it could be like a party hors d'oeuvre as well.
Yeah, we
Could it-
serve a lot of those at weddings. They're very
Sure, yeah.
popular hors d'oeuvres
Yeah.
at weddings.
So if you're doing it as an appetizer, you've got your plate ready to go. How many would you put on that plate? As an
Of
appetizer?
this size, I'd put 4 or 5.
Okay.
Generally, they're a little bit bigger at the club, and we would put 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're looking now. Pretty
They
close, I
look
think.
good. We can lift them up now. Yeah. And then here we have our roasted red pepper puree.
Okay.
we-
So did you made that?
Yes. Yeah.
How do you make a roasted red pepper puree?
Well, you roast the peppers here, as you can see. They turn all
Yeah.
black, and then you would peel the peppers, and then you would puree it in a blender with some.
That's it?
With some garlic. I put a little bit of cream cheese in here to make
Any
it.
oil or?
I don't use any oil or
Okay.
anything in here.
Okay.
Perfect. So we'll take some of these
You
out.
want your
and make
plate?
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then you can just then we could just squirt a little bit of this onto here, and then we can just plate them.
I was a little greedy there, but I'll let you do that.
Oh, okay.
That looks nice.
It does actually,
I
doesn't
like
it?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice drizzle there.
The color of the sauce is brilliant, and you got the lemon and
Yeah.
the peppers. It's
I think it's
beautiful.
holding together though, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a gorgeous looking appetizer, Percy. Congratulations.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
Are you going to try one, Karl?
I was just thinking maybe you should try.
They may be.
Actually, I think they're probably a bit hot.
They're probably really hot right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll hold off just one second then.
Yes, we'll wait. In the meantime, Percy, when you compose a menu for Bally Haly, are you thinking in terms of what the members of the club want to have, or do you think more in terms of the general public, or what you personally would like to put together?
Well, I try to encompass all three. Of course, we got to think of our members, and then the general public is allowed in, so
Yeah.
we try to curtail to them as well.
Yeah.
And of course, I do like to do stuff for myself as well,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm a creative person and I like to create things.
Well, we're happy that you've shared your creative talents with us today on One Chef, One Critic, and thank you for being
you
with
very
us.
much.
And that's it for this edition of
One chef.
One Critic. Be brave. Try it. It's still pretty hot, but
It's not too bad at all. It's good.
that's nice.